Christopher Reeve, the man who couldn't walk, but lifted others. He was the embodiment of a superhero on screen. Handsome, strong, and charismatic. His portrayal of Superman became iconic. But one day, in real life, he fell from a horse and never stood up again. Paralysis changed his fate forever. Yet Christopher Reeve did not disappear. He kept fighting, inspiring, and changing the world. Christopher Reeve was born on September 25, 1952 in New York City, into a family of academics. His father was a literature professor and his mother was a journalist. His parents divorced when he was just 3 years old, and he and his brother grew up between two worlds, splitting their time between New York and Princeton. From an early age, he developed a passion for acting. At the age of 9, he played his first role in a school play. Teachers quickly noticed his talent and charisma. He was admitted to the prestigious Cornell University, though even then he dreamed of the stage. Later, he studied at the renowned Juilliard School of Drama, where he was mentored by none other than John Houseman. One of his classmates was Robin Williams. The two became close friends and went a friendship that would last a lifetime. In 1978, Christopher was offered a role that would change his life forever. Clark Kent, also known as Superman. He was chosen out of 200 actors who auditioned for the part. Despite not being a household name at the time, he impressed the producers with his sincerity and strength. The film Superman became a massive hit. Reeve, tall with classic features and a spark in his eyes, perfectly embodied both the humble Clark and the powerful hero. He performed most of his own stunts, committed to physical training, and often said he felt a deep responsibility for portraying a character that had become a symbol for millions. He went on to play Superman in 4 films, becoming a global star. But for Christopher, that was only one side of the story. He dreamed of taking on serious roles, doing theater, and eventually moving into directing. After the success of the superhero saga, he took on dramatic roles in films such as Somewhere in Time, Hamlet, and The Bostonians. He performed on Broadway, taught acting, and began directing short films. Reeve was not just an actor, he was also socially engaged. He advocated for animal rights, fought for environmental causes, and supported children from underprivileged backgrounds. He wanted to use his fame as a force for good. On May 27, 1995, Christopher was participating in an equestrian competition in Virginia. He loved horses and was considered an experienced rider. But that day, everything went terribly wrong. At the third jump, his horse suddenly stopped. Reeve was thrown over the animal's head and landed headfirst on the ground. He fractured the first 2 cervical vertebrae. Doctors later said, had he fallen just a bit harder or differently, it would have been instantly fatal. He survived but was completely paralyzed from the neck down. He couldn't breathe on his own and could barely speak. The doctors offered little hope, but Christopher didn't give up. Just a few months after the accident, he made a public appearance. In a wheelchair, with a breathing tube in his throat, but with fire in his eyes. He didn't ask for pity. He spoke about the future. Reeve became an outspoken activist, advocating for advancements in medicine and neuroscience. He founded the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, an organization dedicated to funding spinal cord injury research. He once said, "Before the accident, I played Superman. Now I have to be him in real life." He began making television appearances, gave interviews, and even returned to acting. In 1998, he starred in a remake of Rear Window, adapted to fit his physical condition. Christopher believed that one day he would walk again. He took part in scientific conferences and supported experimental methods of recovery. His home was equipped with state-of-the-art technology, allowing him to work, write, and live as actively as possible. His wife, Dana Reeve, stood by him through all those years. Their relationship became a symbol of devotion and love. She once said, "I don't see a disabled man. I see the man I love." In October 2004, Reeve developed complications from an infection. His body, weakened by years of struggle, could no longer fight. He fell into a coma and passed away on October 10, 2004, at the age of 52. The world mourned a hero. Not just the actor who played Superman, but the man who fought to the very end. A year and a half after his death, Dana also passed away, but from lung cancer, despite never having smoked. Their son, Will, was left an orphan at the age of 13. Today, he continues his parents' legacy. Christopher Reeve left behind more than just roles. He left a legacy of courage. His foundation continues to fund groundbreaking research. Thousands of people with spinal cord injuries draw inspiration from his story. He showed the world that even without movement, one can move mountains. He may not have flown through the skies like Superman, but the impact he made was far deeper. His story is not about a fall, it's about the rise of the human spirit. Christopher Reeve, a true hero, just as history will remember him.